Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to Kitab Schools Official. Today we are going to discuss what is object and what are the types of objects and identification of objects. Dear students, it's very important to know before going to start active and passive. Active and passive are very important in English language and they are used in many different aspects. So let us start to discuss what are the objects. I am Syed Mustafa from Kitab School. Let me tell you more about what is object. An object is the receiver of action in a sentence done by the subject is called object. Object is a thing that receives the effect of action. As in the picture has been shown, there is a boy who is kicking the football. The boy is kicking the football, and the boy is the subject who is doing something, and he is doing what he is doing, or he is kicking. He is kicking to whom? To what? He is kicking a football. A football is the main thing on which the action is being done. So we will say that object receives the effect of action. There are three types of objects. First type is the direct object, and the second is indirect object, and third one is prepositional object. These are the major three types of objects in English language, and let us discuss them one by one. So let us discuss the first type of object. Direct object. Direct object is a type of object that means what? When you write a sentence or when you speak a sentence, you talk about something. You talk about something what? A direct object means what? You are saying something like that. You say, I play football. I play football. I is the subject who is doing the action, and I is doing what? Play. I play. What you play? I play football. I play cricket. What you play? I play cricket. I eat food. What you eat? I eat food. So the word which gives the meaning of what in a sentence is called a direct object. An object receives the action directly done by the subject, which contains no preposition or prepositional phrase. They give the meaning of to what. So you must understand before you going to uh, transform or convert an active into passive, what is a direct object and what is indirect object and what is prepositional object. So you have an example before you, and I have already discussed it, that a direct object is a noun. Many times, maximum, it comes as a noun. A noun is the direct object, often in a sentence. So let us discuss the another type of object, and that is very sophisticated and very important in English language while we are going to convert actives into passive voice. So dear students, focus on the second type of object, and that is indirect object. When we talk about somebody, that someone is coming, and someone to whom we mean to say, and this object gives the meaning to whom, that I call you. I call you. I is the subject, and what I does, I I call you. I is the subject and call is the verb. And what is I doing? I is calling you. Whom is calling you? He is calling you. You mean he is calling someone. And here is a sentence that very important, and it will help you to understand the indirect object. I beat my brother. I beat. I punish. I hit something. To whom? My brother. My brother is the indirect object in this sentence that gives the meaning to whom. According to definition, objects give the meaning of to whom are called indirect object. It answers to whom. and it is very important, and I will tell you what is the importance of indirect object in English language, and especially it has a concern, deep concern, with active and passive. While you are converting, transforming active into passive, you will see that an indirect object will help you to interchange the position of subject and object. So without any delay, let us discuss the third type of object, and that one is very important, and you often see in your text, and while you are reading you find them, but you have no recognition of them. And here today we shall discuss about the prepositional object and what is their importance, and why they are used in the sentences, and how they will help us to identify which sentence can be converted into passive voice or which sentence cannot be converted into passive voice. So let us start with the definition. The definition is: this kind of object tells us where, when, and for what action is done. So this will tell you for what or where or when where action is done. According to example, he goes to school. He is the subject of the sentence and the keyword, and goes is the action. He goes and travel and etc. Where he goes, the question arises where he goes. He goes to school. The question arises where he goes. He goes to school. He goes to the market. He goes to the bazaar. He goes to the shop. So this is very important to understand. The word which starts, or the noun which starts with a preposition, this construct a prepositional phrase, and this is also called the object of the preposition. This is the object of the preposition. The underlying phrase begins with a preposition to, therefore it constructs a prepositional phrase that tells us where to go. Here preposition phrase begins with for, and that tells us for what purpose she has gone, and where she has gone, the answer is for a morning walk, etc. So these are very important points that we have discussed. There are three types of objects, and let me tell you why we differentiated between these three types of objects, and what is the purpose of differentiating and making them clear before going to start or converting active into passive voice. Look, these all example, and let me explain to you that the sentences which have direct or indirect object, they can be converted into passive voice, and the sentence which have prepositional phrase and no any object like that, direct or indirect object, they cannot be converted into passive voice. It's very important thing to understand, and you must have learned about it before you going to convert the actives into passives. The sentences which have direct or indirect object only, these two objects are used to change the position when we convert into passive voice. And prepositional phrases, prepositional objects are not changed or are not converted, as they are not conveying the meaning of what and to whom. If the word gives the meaning of what or to whom, so if it takes a preposition, it doesn't matter. If it takes a preposition, it doesn't matter, because it is giving the meaning of what and whom. Many times a prepositional phrase is also kept in mind, and it is also used as the subject of the sentence when he gives the meaning of whom. So you must understand them, and there are many times often happens that direct object, indirect object, and preposition objects come in the same sentence. You are to do what? You are to take only direct object or indirect object. Do not touch prepositional object when you are going to convert an active voice into passive voice. Otherwise, your passive will be incorrect, and you will not going to understand what is the logic behind them, as direct object, indirect objects are the main two things which are interchanged with the subject of the sentence. Without them, you are going to make an incorrect statement. So this session have a very important instructions for you, and I hope so you will have understood what has been conveyed to you today's session. And this is the third session we have done, and I hope so you have learned very well. And you are to practice about all the examples, memorize the definition, understand them, and grasp all whatever have been conveyed to you. And the next session will be very important for us. There is a summary of all the session that we have discussed today, and that is, what is an object? Object is a word or a thing that receives the effect of action. There are three types of objects in English: direct object, indirect object, and prepositional object. Direct object gives the meaning of what, like that I eat food. Food is the direct object that which gives the meaning of what. Indirect object is that is talking about to whom. Indirect object is about someone. We are calling to whom. Like that I call you. You is the object, and indirect object particularly. Preposition object starts with a preposition, and it has also a noun, and this is called prepositional phrase, and a preposition has its own object. So these are major three types we have discussed, and the sentences which have direct or indirect objects can be converted into passive voice. The prepositional phrase cannot be converted into passive voice. This is very important. Knowing many times you will see that pronouns come as the indirect object of a sentence, and the nouns come as the direct object of a sentence. So I hope so you will learn these all the rules. Till the next session, Allah Hafiz, bye bye.